Hi everybody, welcome back. It's another Warhammer 40,000 building tutorial. Today we're looking at the Skorpekh Destroyers from the Indomitus box set. You can buy them individually or in a set of 3 as well. And they're pretty hard to build, I'll be honest with you. I'm doing this video mostly because if I don't want somebody to have the same problems I had. So what are we building? We're building these little guys. My one took a bit of damage on the process. So yeah, and the instructions aren't overly clear. So hopefully this video will help you. If you're learning how to play or you're looking to build some models and you're trying to get some help, let me know down below in the comments what ones you'd like me to do walkthroughs with, and I'll build them for you. I've got the Necron Battle Force coming, I've got the Indomitus box. So if it's Marines or Necrons or whatever and you want some help, subscribe and let me know what you need. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so to start us off, the first thing you will need is a 50mm base from your box set. To check if you've got the right one, there is a little chart inside your instructional booklet, and you just line it up and you'll know if you've got the right one. Straightforward enough. Right, now this model is fiddly and the instructions are not very clear. As you can see, I've built one so far. We're going to build the second one, which is the most similar to the first one because it uses the 2 blades. So we're building this little chap, hoping that eventually he will come together. So for this model, we're looking for parts 18 through 26. It's about 8 to 9 parts to each of these. The sprue will be this size. Obviously, I've cut a bit out already. So if you've got the Indomitus box, have a look around because the Skorpekh Lord has similar parts, but he's a little bit bigger and he's on the Reanimator sprue. The way to tell if you've got the right one for this, you can count the weapons and you'll also see the plasma sight here. If you just see a plasma sight, then you know you've got the right sprue. So as I said, we're looking for parts 18 through 26. Now I'm not going to cut them all out while you watch, that would be tedious. But I'm just going to show you as always how to cut them out. Preferably use some clippers. You go in, make sure I'm in sharp. As you can see, there is a number 20 pointing in, and the little square points to what I'm after. And then you just go in as close as possible and gently squeeze. And then you work through each of the connecting points. Be careful, okay? You'll see a bit that looks like a little pin right by my finger here. You need that. You're just chopping these little kind of triangular bits to get the part. And then if you've got your mold remover, if you haven't got one from a paint set, you can buy them with a handle from your local game store as well as your Warhammer shops. And just every time, just have a little look around. What we're looking for is these little bits. You see how there's that little type of whitish bit? That's a mold line, and we can just scrape just a little bit of plastic off with that. A heavier bit, I'll come out, hold it like this, not. Most of the 40k stuff's been pretty good so far. I also use this when I'm sorting out my Judge Dredd models, and some of those have pretty brutal mold lines. So that's how you cut out and get rid of the mold lines. I'm going to cut the rest out and then we'll be back. Okay, we're back. We've got the parts. So this does not explain how to build it very well. I'll be honest, the first one I had quite a lot of trouble with. So your first step is to take the spinal piece, the kind of pelvis piece, and the shoulder piece. Okay, and what you're going to do is this pin is what holds everything else together. It goes through this hole and then into that hole. Now, it doesn't explain in the instructions which way round to put this. So here's a little life hack I figured out. Plan ahead a step. At the end, you're going to have to do the 3 legs. Okay. Now the 3 legs have 2 with holes and 1 with a clip. One with each hole goes left and right, and the clip goes behind. And the clip can only fit in one way. So what you want to do is have a look on the hip lower spine and make sure that hole is pointing to the back so you can put that in later. Okay? because otherwise you've got a problem, and it does not explain it really in the instructions. So hopefully that little tip will help you, that this little hole goes to the back. So what you'll have is this, and it's quite a tight fit. Now the other one I glued and it ended rather badly, I'll be honest with you, because it's such a tight fit to get this pin through. But what you're looking to do is put that one through there without snapping the damn thing in half. So if you're a gluer like me, what I would do is put it most of the way and then just put a bit of glue in the base, ready for the last little push, which is what I'm going to do now. I just use normal super glue. I've got plastic glue as well, but I only use that for repairs really, or for making scenery with walls. So I'm just going to put a tiny little bit, let it drip round, and push it in the last of the way. You don't have to glue, these are push fit, they are not intended to be glued. I like the extra security and the extra hold, especially when it comes to painting. Okay, so we've got those bits in, and now we're supposed to put this piece, for the time being, just sit it in there. Now check the fit, because I found them to be a bit niggly. So you'll see here, you've got this little piece of plastic and then the pin. That has to sit right underneath. If it sits well, you're good. If it doesn't, you might need to clean it up a little. So that's ready. Now, as I said, I do prefer to glue, but I'm going to do the next stage first. Because again, it doesn't really explain it. You need the chest piece, you need the face piece. And what you're going to have to do, you'll see there's a tiny little bit there. It's going to go in his head. Now to get it on with each of these, this one goes the other way around to the first one, but it's the same idea. You're going to thread in and then twist and then line it up, and it will kind of, it doesn't really click, but you'll feel it hits. Now that I find incredibly weak. So as I said, I prefer to glue. I'm gluing that. To do that, I am literally only putting the glue for now on the back of the head piece. Oh, I've put a bit too much. If you do that, just have a bit of kitchen towel, dab a bit of the excess off. You should have plenty of time. Get that in there, into place, line it up. Now you'll know if it's lined up well because you won't see a gap between the front of the head and the back of the head. Give that a little bit of a push. This bit takes a little while to stick, but it will. Okay, just a moment longer. And then this part is going to attach to this part. Now, the arms for this one go a little differently to the first one. As you can see, it's while we're waiting for that to glue, that should be about done now. Hopefully my fingers haven't glued on. The arm for this one here is going to have to go into that socket. And you know it's that socket because much like a Necron warrior, he has these funny kind of semicircle pins. So you're going to need to put that in before you push this piece on. And again, I do prefer the extra hold. Now, if you're going to glue, don't put the glue into the hole, because if it fills up, you're going to get the pin in. Put a little bit on the peg instead. Let it come around, take off any excess. Push it in, job done. Now you notice I have not pinned this part in with glue. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to put a bit around the base of the peg. I'm going to double check, is my whole face in the back? Yes it is. Wiggle that on, wiggle it into place. Now this part here is really easy. The pin in the hole. If you've had an issue like I did, you may have to trim and old-fashioned glue to everything, but I like a little bit of glue along the seams just to hold everything together. I don't mind a little bit on the shoulder socket. And first I'm going to have just a tiny bit on the pin as well. Now, obviously I'm going to have to go quite quick so it doesn't all dry up, but it's literally 1, 2, 3 and on. And it can only really go one way. Once it's in, like so, add a little pressure if you've decided to glue it. If you haven't glued it, fair enough. But I do like the extra security. Plus, once you add a bit of pressure and glue it, you're less likely to have those annoying little lines between the armour pieces. Okay? Now, that leaves you with your 3 legs and your base. Now this one, let's have a look. I like to, at this point, use the picture to guide me to exactly which leg is which. So I know this is the back leg. This leg you'll see has a little bit of scenery moulded into it. This is his left leg. The basic leg is the right leg. From there, each of those side legs will sit on a pin. And it will literally just go clunk. So I like a little bit of glue there and a little bit near the hole. I'm not trying to fill the hole. If you're in doubt, put it on the peg. Okay, I'm only putting a tiny little bit in there. As I said, if you don't like the glue, and I'll say it in every video, don't. But I like the hold. I want to use basically the kind of this part as a part of my kind of structural hold, because it would just make the model a little bit stronger, so in case you drop it or whatever. See, getting there, nearly there. Now this bit, if you're going to glue it, you have to be real careful, because that's going to go in there, and it is not a soft fit. It's quite hard and firm. So you have to be real careful. So I'm going to put a bit of glue on the underside. I'm not going to put any in the hole. Just put it around the hole. Now I've gone a bit hard, so I take the corner of my paper, get in there, so it doesn't dry in over the paintwork. Okay, so just a little bit. And then you're going to go in there. Now I snapped a leg when I did this earlier, so be careful. Okay, just go in, focus any pressure on the leg, and then put a finger there if you need extra support. It's in, it's glued, he's alive. And then all you got to do is line it up with your base. And then when I glue to a base, I always like a bit of support, so I put a bit on there, bit on there, then a little bit around there. And these only ever fit one way out there, YouTube, so be careful. Line it up like so, give it a push, get a push. Now, as you can see, this one, the way it's been designed, it leaves a little bit of the plug exposed. But if you're into basing, you can hide that with a bit of sand or whatever later. So there you have it. Skorpekh Destroyers, a really cool model. And that's hopefully helpful, because once you've done one, it's really straightforward how to do the others. Subscribe if you like that. Let me know what you want to see. Check out my magic videos. I do loads of magic tricks. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.